For a while now, there's been rumours circulating behind the scenes that there was some disruption in the team. Apparently, roster changes were incoming. So we sort of know now, based on how it panned out, that it was Cadian and Stown who had found an ally in Jabby, who, remember, was the last guy into the team, had basically decided that, look, no, we don't like the ideas that Cadian's putting out, and we feel that, probably time for a change at the top, actually, which I don't get, because I always feel whenever Heroic choke, which is all the fucking time, because probably there's never been a weaker number one team in the world ever than in CSGO history than when Heroic are wearing that crown. They don't win big tournaments. They always seem to wilt under the pressure. But when that happens, it's never Cadian. Cadian might have bad games, but in those games they lose, he's generally the best performer. He gets the buff, everyone else gets the nerf. And I don't get it, because when he was criticizing his team post-match and all that stuff, what he's saying is right. Like, people are making elementary mistakes, people aren't playing at their usual levels, communications seem to break down, there's a lot of mistakes, but the idea of Heroic siding with the players over Cadian is crazy to me. Cadian, since he joined Heroic and was given that lifeline, that career lifeline, because remember, Cadian was already meant to be retired. Cadian was meant to be doing what Bubsky was doing. He's already meant to be an analyst, It was all over for him. He ended up coming, back, and he has built iteration after iteration after iteration of team for Heroic on no money, no budget, with a change of ownership in the middle that then turned out to be, oh, we've got new owners, do I get any money to spend? Can we sign any players? Oh, no, there'll be none of that. He's presided over that and got them up to the number one team in the world, I think probably on 3 occasions. Not to mention, they had to do it all with Astralis and that Danish mafia in esports that definitely doesn't exist, fucking him over repeatedly with corporate espionage and fuck knows what else going on. I say, mad respect to him. Never going to be the great, the GOAT, never really going to be in GOAT talk contention. There's a handful of names, maybe only 2, and he isn't one of them. But if you think about the Hall of Fame as being something that encompasses many, many years, blah, blah. I mean, he's in there. So I was not shocked, because this can only break one or two ways. But yeah, Cadian is out. And Heroic put this statement out, and they said the mutual decision was made due to differing visions of the future of the team. Got to be said, I'm not getting a sense that a lot of this was mutual. Not really getting that vibe at all. Early eliminations in the playoffs of the Blast TV Paris Major, IEM Dallas, IEM Cologne, and recently a disastrous group stage exit from ESL Pro League Season 18, Cadian's worst result in an event since the Face It London Major 2018, have been worrying, with Cadian going so far as to say that the team hasn't been playing to our philosophies and principles. Now, after being unable to make the changes he wanted in the team, the Danish captain and the organisation are headed down different paths. Where exactly that path leads for Cadian, even he doesn't know. Now, there's another interview on Deserto, which will give us a bit more colour for this. But I just think, for fuck's sake, man, back the guy that's given you, a track record of success, back the guy that's dug out all of these players. And you have to sort of say to yourself, who was it that was, bigging up Stown and pushing him out, to everybody and giving him the roles that he wants within the team? When everyone signed Jabby, people were like, oh, that's a bit underwhelming. Cadian was the cheerleader. He was the guy saying this move's going to take us to the next level. And Jabby massively overperformed at the start of his Heroic career. Cadian's your spokesperson. Cadian's the guy that's identifiable. He's also the lightning rod when things go wrong. It's sort of crazy to me that you would get rid of him. There would have to be something very wrong for me to make that decision. It was like a bit weird. There's actually, before we get to the interview, they all did this thing. All the players like put out like a tweet. Thanks for everything. Stown did it. Get the fuck out. See ya. Exist, the coach, obviously said it's been great. But these are the ones that I want to draw attention to. Don't much care about the players. Here you have Yanko. He said, I expected her up to make a change, but not this one. Cadian was the heart and soul of that team. I'm shocked to see him gone. Does he end up in Falcons? Who do Heroic go for, and how will the rest of the players perform with another IGL? So much to be answered. Then there was this from Maui Snake. This again addresses that critique that Cadian gave about his own players. Which, you know, as an in-game leader or a captain, you're always fraught with peril if you point fingers. But equally, sometimes doing that publicly can give people the motivation they need to improve. And maybe he was a little bit exasperated. Felt like, you know, he couldn't motivate them in any other way. But whatever. Maui Snake said, I believe Cadian when he said it was the team letting him down in high-pressure games. Cadian was a choke artist in the early years of his career, but he was the only one keeping up the intensity and big moments in the latter portion, which is pretty much, you know, my assessment as well. That's what I saw when I was watching Heroic play. Dinko took a break from fighting global Satanism to tweet this. He said, surely Cadian was the one that made this choice. He's too valuable to that team to have made the decision to lose him over literally anybody else in the squad. I don't know if I go that far. The fact that it's Stown is quite telling, I think, but still. Thorin, in his in his unique fashion, Snappy or Carrigan, if Snappy or Carrigan isn't walking through that door, then what the fuck are they doing? They just bench a top 3 IGL over the last 2 years. And, you know, look, we know if there's one thing that's in short supply, it's in-game leaders. You know, they're like gold dust. You can't fucking get them. Who wants to do it? It's the most thankless task. You're the first out the door. You're the first to get blamed. It requires the most cerebral amount of skill and, you know, energy and focus. So it's crazy that if you don't have a really good IGL lined up, and I agree, like, who would it be? Who would be a natural replacement for Cadian? Pimp made a good point, I know. He took a break from asking people on Twitter if his mustache is horrible. It is. And then went with this, which is a good point. He said, now if I am Team Liquid, which I'm not, Liquid, hey Cadian. Cadian, hey Liquid. Liquid, so we kind of need an IGL. Are you down? Cadian, depends, what are you offering? Liquid, rain check, write down a number. Cadian, XX, XXX, Liquid, deal. Which is a long way of saying maybe Liquid should get him as an IGL. I mean, look, we can talk about the Liquid stuff in a little bit. Well, no, I'll fold it in here. I don't know if it's worth a separate video. I don't know if you saw. Do you remember when they picked up Rainwaker, Team Liquid? Do you remember that? Remember when they picked up that Rainwaker? And what did I say when we did the video? And I said I would be very reluctant to pick up any Bulgarian players because there was a lot of shady shit went in, a lot of teams, a lot of times, and everybody knows it. Just be careful. I wouldn't make a commitment. Not if I was a top team. Not if I was playing in E6 monitored leagues. It's what I said. It's all on video. You can go check it out. I did say that. And here we are now. And, you know, the rumour, the word on the street, and I'm not confirming this, but people have said it to me. The word on the street is that he may or may not be a person of interest. One of those. So, I don't know. Probably could have been avoided. But I think just in general, the Yakindar stuff is... And look, I'm not impugning him, but I'm past caring, right? This is a stream. This isn't journalism. I'm not impugning him. I'm saying what people are saying. Right, that's it. I'm allowed to say what other people are saying. You know, I think we can all admit the magic trick Yakindar did by convincing Team Liquid. Oh, no, I'm a really good player, so I can be an IGL and definitely drop a leash and go with me, Yakindar. I will guide us to victory. Just sign the players I say are good. And let me control the team, and I will do all the media output. And that's like, wow, you're playing really shit, dude. Like, you used to be lethal. You used to be a literally unplayable entry fragger to the point where there were murmurings that you were a cheater, and now you're just like some semi-washed already dude who got the bag from Liquid, right? Like, this sucks. So, what they need to do is they need to bring in an IGL. Daps has obviously been playing. He's going to take over the IGLing. Yekindar didn't sound too happy about it when he was asked about it. But you know what? Get Cadian, 100%. If I'm Team Liquid, I agree with Pimp. I would make that phone call. I would definitely make this phone call. When I wrote it out, when I wrote my fan fiction, it would be amazing. It would be way more detailed than this. But Pimp's not a writer. Pimp's just a professional CS analyst. You can't expect too much. But anyway, I get that. If people say, where's OC going if you sign Cadian? Who cares? No, I mean, you just put him on a rifle. You just put him on a rifle. Or you don't. Or who gives a fuck? But you just get Cadian. So, I don't think there was any other interesting things. Just to show you, just to illustrate the level that these leakers operate on. After somebody said, yeah, Liquid need Nigel, don't they? Overdrive. Yeah, one of his options. It's Liquid and Nip. Look at me. Pay attention to me. Nip need one as well, don't they? Yeah, Nip need one. Look at me. I'm a leaker. Look at me. I'm leaking. I'm going to leak. Pretty pathetic. Anyway, let's get to this interview. Because once again, Lewis Mira is doing great work. And if you want to, if you want the headline, sure, go to HLTV. But if you want the context and the meaning, go read what Lewis Mira is putting out. So this is what Cadian had to say. What do you think about your legacy and heroic, essentially? And he said, I feel a lot of pride. Many people see me as the face of not just the CS team of heroic, but more or less the organization, I have been able to build a team and a brand more or less from nothing. We didn't have the funds or the same opportunities as the other teams at the beginning, and we fought our way up, becoming better and better with each and every small change and the theory crafting of how to play CS. We were ahead of the curve in terms of scouting the right talent and making roster moves at the right time, and that brought us to a position where Heroic was a big enough name to get a spot in both Blast and ESL. I mean, you had to pay for it, but whatever. Andrew got worked on that. You had to pay more because certain entities wanted it that way, but whatever. And then we reached number 1 in the world rankings to win big trophies. The main thing that fills my heart is pride, voice crack, and I'm happy that I have spent so much of my career with such great players and amazing friends. There's no grudge. We separate as friends. We have been working super hard and pouring in sweat, blood and tears to make it work. It's been an incredible journey that a lot of people can look back on and think, okay, if they can do it, so can I. Cadian isn't willing to dwell too long, however, on things that he can't control and is instead focusing on the next chapter of his career. I'm super motivated, he said, adding he's already grinding Counter-Strike 2. He spent the last 5 years playing for Danish teams, but with Astralis and Heroic being the only top teams in the country at the moment, he is looking abroad for playing opportunities. I believe that a lot of the things we have done correctly in Heroic can transfer to the next place I'm going to. I know I can bring the 5% that other teams need to win. I have my idea of which team I could instantly make better and which teams could or should potentially consider involving me, but at the end of the day, it's not up to me to decide which teams are interested in me. I'm not going to make a move just to make a move, he said. I'm confident that there will be a lot of teams reaching out to me, but I'm only considering joining a team that I can win with. Not Team Liquid, though. No, I'm just kidding. So, I think that there's probably there are a number of teams you could get him to. Now, given what we've just covered with the Falcons situation, the Falcons thing's a possibility, like unquestionably. I think NBK's on borrowed time over there, which that's fair enough. NBK's a veteran, maybe it is getting close to his time. He's had a storied career, he's a legend, and maybe he might want to go back to the drawing board for CS2. Who knows? Anything could happen. But certainly Liquid looks like it could be an option. Again, I got no insider information on this. I don't really do roster moves anymore, unless they're sort of blockbuster moves. Nip is another place where I think, sure, that could certainly work. I think Hampus is on his way out, despite having only just come back, realistically. And so you could put Cadian in that team, but then you've got the issue of what's Cadian going to do, because you've got head trickers and AWPer. This is the ultimate problem, really, is that he ups. Will he want to up? Will he take the rifle? Can he do it to a degree competent enough? But I guess he's an IGL, so it doesn't really matter if he's good or puts up the numbers, particularly if you're on a team that have all these other fraggers. So, we'll see. But I definitely think Nip wouldn't be a bad shout for him, and it wouldn't put him too far afield. And he should have some suitors. Now, I'll just also add, before we get into any of the other stuff, the level that CS has been operating at, like just recently, has been garbage. I mean, like, it's been worse. When I said at the start of the year and the end of last year that it was garbage, it's only been going in one direction. It has been getting, like, progressively worse. And I think people know they can just, like, none of this matters anymore. From the moment CS2 was essentially announced and we all knew it was coming out, everybody basically sort of just said, well, whatever. It just is what it is. And if you go and look at, like, the last few events of the year, and, like, you look at the games, if you watch some of the games, you look at the teams, like, whatever happened to, like, the fucking, oh, yeah, G2 will go on and get an era now. No, they won't. But Cloud9 have just built a super team. Wet fart. But maybe it's Heroic's time. But FaZe will want to have a Vitality are the best team in the world. It's just been trash. Like, all the games have been trash. No one really cares. It's so evident that no one really cares in how they're playing. And now, CS2's being trotted out ahead of time, which, I mean, it ain't ready. So why would you care if you were a pro player? I mean, pretty much, we've seen some of the criticism, like Simple's put out there, and Nico did a funny one the other day, didn't he, where he said Vertigo was shit in CSGO, and it manages to be even worse in CS2. What do you think now that the GOAT agrees with me, eh? Now that Nico agrees with Richard Lewis, am I right, or is he wrong? What's going on? It's a shame, because CS, just, like, we're in basically the dark ages. I'm not saying it won't get back in CS2. In fact, I strongly believe it will. I had to laugh. I saw someone on Reddit the other day said, how can anyone listen to anything Richard Lewis said? I believe about 2 years ago, he said in 2 years' time, CSGO will be dead. What's it called when you load it up, dickhead? That's not how you fucking impugn my fucking reputation, is it, you moron? Anyway, and I didn't even know back then. Like, literally dead. I think, unfortunately, the quality of games has been informed by the fact everybody knew they had to learn something else. We've got this weird situation where the Blast is being played right now, and everyone's got to fucking play CSGO, and because I don't even know why that is. I've got some insight there. I think the general thought process was it wasn't worth taking the risk of getting all the negative criticism of being the first CS2 tournament when CS2 sucks. And I did say that. I did say the esport was really going to struggle unless they released a new version of the game. The esport sort of was only trending in one direction and had a ton of problems. I never said the game was going to die, and it did. Technically, I was wrong, I guess. Didn't see that coming. But anyway, I saw some of the MR12 stuff being played as well. Like, fucking, I've seen some MR12 stuff, and I still think it's better. But whoever is doing these MR12 best of ones, are you fucking dizzy? You can't have a best of one. There's not even an excuse to have a best of one anymore with MR12. For fuck's sake, just stop. And people are eventually gonna go, Richard Lewis was right the whole time, because I'm calling this now. In 3 months, by the time we're heading into 2024, everyone's gonna say pistol rounds gotta go. You can't have MR12 with pistol rounds, and pistol rounds gonna be phased out. You'll play pistol rounds in your matchmaking, but the pros won't be playing pistol rounds. We'll come up with our own little format, because pistol rounds are trash. But you can't have BO1s anyway with MR12, and there's no excuse to. The games theoretically should be shorter, so whatever. But yeah, unfortunately, Heroic, I think, just got caught in that. When I saw them be freakishly bad at ESL Pro League, I kind of felt like the players have just given up here, and it makes me sad, because it's Cadian that's carrying the can for that. Kind of sucks. Now, unrelated, I do believe I heard, does anyone here watch HLTV Confirmed? Can anyone stomach it anymore? It's okay. This isn't a trick. There you go. Somebody said I do, right? Did I hear, because sometimes I put it on in the background. if there's a guest or a topic, did Prof the other night say he heard Heroic was owned by 1xBet? Or was it Striker? Right, good. That's what I thought. See, I had it on the wireless. It was downstairs. That's why I wasn't looking at the monitor. So it was Striker. It wasn't Prof. So we'll by the way, we'll see how the rumor standard is held up with that being out there. So this has been a thing behind the scenes for a while that people have been like, oh yeah, 1xBet swooped in and via a shell company bought like a controlling stake of Heroic. Good luck proving it. And so some of us, journalists, decided it might be worth looking into that. And some of us have been looking into that. But I guess we can just tip them off publicly and doesn't matter. Just say I heard a rumor. So it's super interesting as well, because who sponsors HLTV's fucking MVP award? Fucking 1xBet. Like, I don't know. Like, could you maybe find out? Striker, like, is that too hard a conversation to have? Is it really that difficult? Like, 1xBet are the official HLTV MVP partner. You just gave an award out for Torsey, which was bullshit, by the way. Was frozen all day long. But you just gave out an award for Torsey for MVP because Mouse won a Grand Slam tournament because no one cares anymore. And you didn't think for like a second, rather than just go on a podcast and just say, I heard this rumor that one of our sponsors secretly owns a team. Which would create a ton of problems because you know who else 1xBet sponsor? ESL. So, no, does not getting to the bottom of that? No one wants to get to the bottom of that, do they? Okay, my bad, sorry. Sorry for, like, actually trying to find out properly and secretly. But yeah, so I thought I heard that. And, you know, it's interesting, isn't it, that was talked about at the same time as the Cadian departure. I don't think there's anything there. But, you know, I have a hard time believing in coincidences in esports. It's Chinatown. So, anyway, long story short, because some people do still care about my opinions about when it comes to team matters, I think Heroic are going to be worse for it unless they can find another good IGL. But then again, it doesn't matter because we're all going to be playing fucking CS2. So who even knows?